One evening, we were bored out of our minds. Everyone in the neighborhood had heard the stories about the abandoned mansion, but no one had the courage to go there. Jake, as usual, wanted to show off his bravery. "Let's check it out, don't chicken out," he said. Sarah and Ethan immediately agreed. I didn't really want to go, but I couldn't be the odd one out, so I said, "Fine, let's go." When we arrived, the mansion loomed in the dark, a silhouette against the night sky. Broken windows, overgrown weeds, and an eerie silence greeted us. The place felt alive, like it didn't want us there. Jake pushed the heavy door with a grin. It creaked loudly as it opened. Stepping inside, a shiver ran down my spine. The hallway stretched long and narrow, like a tunnel into the unknown. Sarah turned on her phone's flashlight, but even that wasn't enough to push back the darkness. Jake, trying to act tough, said, "If anything happens, I'll protect you." Just then, we heard a terrible voice from upstairs. "What was that?" I asked, my voice shaking. Ethan tried to stay calm. "Probably just the wind," he said, though his face was pale. We moved toward the staircase. The wooden steps creaked under our weight, as if warning us to turn back. When we reached the upper floor, the hallway was even darker. The walls were lined with old, cracked picture frames. Most of the photos were faded or torn, but one caught my eye. A man standing in front of the mansion, holding a large key. His eyes seemed to follow me. Jake went ahead and opened a door. The room inside was completely empty, except for deep scratches on the walls. "Looks like someone tried to escape from here," Sarah whispered. Just then, a door at the end of the hallway slammed shut with a loud bang. We froze in place. "That wasn't the wind," Ethan said, breaking the silence. Jake tried to laugh it off. "Let's just take a quick look and leave," he said. But as he spoke, I felt something cold brush the back of my neck. "Let's get out of here," I said, but no one listened. Jake opened another door. This room was different. In the middle was an old, broken table, and in the corner, a small chest. "Jackpot!" Jake shouted, running toward it. He opened the chest and pulled out a dusty letter. It read, "The key to this house is with me. But do not open the door again." He never left. Jake laughed. "It's just some old ghost story," he said. But as he spoke, a gust of wind swept through the room. The doors slammed shut, and the lights flickered out. In the darkness, we heard Jake scream. "Jake, are you okay?" we shouted. We turned the flashlight toward him, but he was gone. All that was left was the letter on the floor. Sarah picked it up, shaking. Suddenly, Ethan pointed at the door. "Look," he yelled. In the window of the door was a tall figure with pitch-black eyes staring back at us. The figure disappeared in an instant, but Jake's screams echoed from upstairs. We ran toward the sound, our footsteps echoing in the empty halls. It led us to a large, empty ballroom. In the center, a massive chandelier creaked ominously. Before we could react, the chandelier came crashing down with a deafening sound. In the chaos, a shadowy figure appeared in the middle of the room. Its long, dark arms were wrapped around Jake's throat. We could see him struggling, but it was like we were frozen in place. "Let him go," Sarah screamed, tears streaming down her face. The shadow turned to us and whispered, "Anyone who disturbs me stays here forever." In the blink of an eye, Jake's screams stopped. The shadow dragged him into the darkness and vanished. The room was silent. We turned and ran, stumbling down the stairs. When we reached the front door, it slammed shut on its own. With all our strength, we forced it open and escaped. But Jake wasn't with us. Nobody spoke on the way home. We all knew Jake was gone, and he wasn't coming back. Since that night, we've promised never to talk about the mansion again. But sometimes, late at night, I swear I can still hear Jake's screams in the wind.